Hey guys, welcome to another CoCod documentary. Today, I'm just going to start this video off by saying we are going into the Dust Devil documentary already. I know that the Fardonian and Britannian documentaries have been delayed, but we're going deep in those documentaries, so it's going to take a little bit of time, so stick with me. But for now, we're going to dive into the Dust Devil documentary. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, maybe I should probably explain what the Dust Devils are or who they are, because I don't know if I've done that yet, or if I have, probably not a lot of it. So, really briefly, the Dust Devils are like the Africans. If we were, they'd be like the African, like North Africa, if like it was the Roman Empire, I guess. That's what they basically represent, I suppose, because they are in a desert region, and they have a lot of African-based culture, weapons, etc. They really are just the African factions of Coca. But yeah, anyway, so today I'm just gonna go over like a super brief history and some of the weapons they had, or at least recreations. So unfortunately, we don't know a ton about the Dust Devils, like the early Dust Devils, since they never wrote any records or realistically anything. But basically, they started west of the Valley of Rome, which was where their origins. It's believed that they were just a bunch of tribes, just like the Tufkins were at one point, just a bunch of tribes, duking it out, living. Anyway, and then several of these Dust Devil tribes became more civilized and turned into kingdoms known as the Dust Devil Kingdoms, and started developing slowly but surely. And that's about when Rome came into the picture. So once the Romans arrived in the Dust Devil region, which was a new region, the name Dust Devil was given to them by the Romans because of where they lived. They're very desolate, dry, desert, almost savanna-like. Not really savannah, but just dry and like a desert. Very dry. But yeah, there was this massive lake that we call a sea. It's a sea in Coca. Anyway, known as the Dust Devil Sea. It was in the heart of the Dust Devil region, and this is where the Dust Devil kingdoms claimed their land. Around the entire Dust Devil Sea. Dust Devil Sea was like the Nile River, to them. There was no river, it was just a sea, but yeah. So the Romans came to the Dust Devil region about roughly the late Tiafoe War, and the Romans, they wanted to expand and grow their empire, but unfortunately, campaigns in Tufka weren't really going their way, so once they found out the Dust Devil region was a thing, they sent over a legion to go secure their rule in the Dust Devil region. Unfortunately for them, the Dust Devils told them to leave, which they refused. The Romans refused, and instead demanded that they submit to their rule, which the Dust Devils refused, and that ended up declaring war on Rome, which led to the first Dust Devil War. Now, unfortunately for the Dust Devils, their lack of armor and shields proved to be their biggest downfall, and which led to a Roman victory, but barely, and I'll tell you why. Alright, you see these a range of weapons here. Yes, you got a club, a shotel, and short spears. The shotel. This is what scared the heck out of the Romans. during the Dust Devil campaigns. Sorry, the Dust Devil campaign. This weapon right here, the Shotel. If you don't know what a Shotel is, it's basically a sickle sword. So if you know what a sickle is, just imagine that, but it's a sword, like specifically for battle. So yeah, that's what a Shotel is basically. Anyway, these things actually were used in real life, real history, and basically what they do, especially against opponents with shields, is that the curvature in the blade would be able to either rip, like they'd be able to like slash, and then either get over the shield and kill whoever's behind it, or they can literally just slash and get over the shield, but they can also grab it, like they grabbed it, and then pull it out. Either pull it out of the way or completely rip it off somebody's arm, which left them exposed, which was very scary. And this actually worked a few times during the first Dust Devil War. So basically the Romans, during the first Dust Devil War and during the first battle, they basically... So basically what happened was the Romans were outnumbered almost like by 3 people, because I think the Roman legion was about 6 to 7 people, maybe 8, and the Dust Devils around 9 to 10 or something like that. It's been a while. Anyway, but basically what went down was, so the battle started with the Romans launching a volley of sling rounds, which in this game is water balloons. Anyway, so because the Dust Devils don't have like any shields or armor like whatsoever, this killed tons of them in just one small volley. It was crazy. Okay, so that happened, and then once they engaged, the Romans were able to kill them like in hand-to-hand combat too because of their little armor, but the Dust Devils made up for it with the Shotel. Literally, it was a winning battle for the Romans, but like barely. I think there are only like 3 Roman survivors, maybe 2. I think 1 was injured, and then like 2 Dust Devil survivors, and that's it. And it was all thanks to the Shotel being able to rip the shields out of their arms and like getting over the shield, just breaking up the formation. It was chaotic. So after the first battle, several of the Dust Devil there are still tribes, okay? There are several groups, not even kingdoms yet, and then one major Dust Devil kingdom surrendered themselves under Roman rule. So after that, the Romans secured themselves in their now client state's lands, and basically launched their second attack with a few Dust Devil mercenaries, with additional troops, because Rome sent reinforcements of like 8 people, I think, was the next wave of Romans, plus like, I think 3 mercenaries, plus I think there was like a few boats involved. Yeah, no, there were, I remember. There we go. Boats, yes. I think there were like 3 naval vessels for the Romans had at their disposal. And then the opposing, so I think total, there's about 10 or 11 troops the Romans had at their disposal to launch the second invasion on the remaining hostile Dust Devils. And the Dust Devils had around 4 boats at their disposal, and maybe around 12, 13, maybe 14 people at their disposal. Yeah. Anyway, so they launched their attack. The naval battle was a defeat for the Romans. They lost like everything there. Like, it was complete defeat. Like, it was so unfair. Anyway, but the land battle again, it barely won. The Romans barely won, and it was all because of the Shotel. The Shotel was probably the most effective weapons the Romans had ever seen, like, used against them anyway. Like, when I mean effective, I mean the most effective weapon that went against their own style of fighting. The Shotel it was perfect for the job. The Shotel was almost made as anti-Roman warfare for Koka. It was crazy. Anyway, eventually all the Dust Devils surrendered to the Romans, and now there's a bunch of Dust Devil client states in the Dust Devil region. And that's pretty much the history, other than Mesesala, which I can get to in another video. But basically, Mesesala was just a rebellious trade colony the Romans had, and then they revolted, caused some trouble. There was a whole battle involved and crap. But I can go over that in another video. But I'm running out of time, so let's get into the weapons. So, for the weapons, I mentioned the Shotel a whole bunch, but we're not going to start with that. We are going to start here. Now, when the Dust Devils came to war, these are recreations, okay? So these aren't actual weapons made by the Dust Devils. I was unable to collect any. Yeah, including flags/banners. They didn't really have any. Not really. They had a symbol. It was like a tree. They said their color was tan, like the majority of them, because I don't know, like it was really weird. They kind of were separated but together. I don't know. They all agreed on it or whatever. Anyway, but there was a lot of short spears, and what I really found interesting and I really liked is that these are recreations, remember, but basically what they did in the real versions is they actually bladed their spears. See how there's like a blade to it and not just a round point, you know? It was really cool. And down here, you can see that there's like these little parts of the wood that are like serrated, or not really serrated, kind of, but like just off. Like it just gave it some they really decorated their short spears and weapons. It was super cool. Here's another one right here. Yep, and another. Yep. And the Shotel. The Shotel wasn't really decorated much. I think they did end up putting some like tape or like some rope around the handle though, which I didn't because I got lazy or something. But yeah, this is pretty. I think theirs were a little more curved than this one as well. This would probably pass as the Shotel for them though, but I think theirs were a little more curved. And then a club. The club, literally just a stick, and they actually flattened it out, kind of like I did here, like a blade almost. Not really a blade, but like they flattened it out on the sides, and they I don't know what they did, but they did like a pattern where it was like this was like that, you know, like opened, and then the bottom one here open, and then like another one down here. I just got lazy and I don't know, I kind of messed it up, but you get the idea. It really reminded me of like those Aztec war clubs / like swords, the obsidian ones, you know, where it doubled as like a sword almost and a club. It's kind of like that. It was really, really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was pretty much everything they had in terms of like weapons, but yeah. So overall for me, the Dust Devils are a really interesting topic, and I really liked how they are incorporated in the game. One of the best things that ever happened. Super grateful they were willing to be a part of it. Just adds so much more history and depth into the game, and I'm really happy I'm able to share this with you. So please like and subscribe, and look out for more documentaries just like this, and hopefully some battles and other stuff. So I'll see you guys later.